So today we have someone special who is one of the 6 players who will be representing Singapore in the Southeast Asia Finals. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, so I'm Brendan. I'm from Team TCG. So I am actually the winner for the One Piece Singapore Championship round two.
So what deck were you using during the championship event which you won?
So I was using the Purple Kaido deck for the second round, and the reason why I chose that deck was simply because Kaido is my favorite character, and I've been playing that deck since it released as the demo deck all the way, like exclusively. So Kaido is a deck that can go 50-50 in any matchups, and it's actually quite swingy if you can get your pieces on curve. So it's extremely strong, and there's a high ceiling to that deck. That's the first deck and the only deck I've played in competitively, even though I have all the cards. It's the one deck that feels very fun to play.
I see. Okay, so let's start with the Q&A. So you are the winner for the second championship event. So let's chat a little about the most recent championship event in Singapore, which I believe happened a week ago. So what were your thoughts and what deck did you use and how did you go? How did you do for the event?
So for the third round of the Singapore Championships, since I already got a qualified slot, I was planning to use this opportunity to test another deck, which was Whitebeard for regionals. And I actually didn't do that well. I got a 2-2 score, then subsequently I dropped from the event. Okay, so I wasn't as well prepared for the event as well because I had reservists and school commitments, so I didn't really practice much.
Okay, so I believe the
Yep.
meta game for that event was Kinemon and Zoro, because right now I'm looking at the top 16 leaders. Almost 55% of it is green Kinemon, but the 2 decks that ended up winning the event is I believe it was Kid and Kaido. So one of the decks that you love playing as well. So what are your thoughts on that meta game?
The meta game was pretty much how we expected it to be because green is an extremely consistent deck to play. So if you would like to top an event, green is actually a very good choice. It's very stable and it can play into most matchups quite evenly. As for the purple Kaido, it's similar in a sense that if you see the right cards, you can win any deck. And people wanted to play Kaido into more a green centric feel. As for the red Zoros, red is still a very good deck and extremely fast. So if your opponent doesn't know how to play against red, or if your opponent misses their early drops, it's very punishing for them. Hence, why red is extremely good as well.
So for players in the West, right, they will be having their Treasure Cup coming soon, which is equivalent to our Round 1 championship. So maybe we want to talk a little about Round 1. What deck did you use and maybe some advice for the Western players?
So for the round one championships in Singapore, I used Purple Kaido. It felt extremely good into every single deck except Red Luffy. But the thing is, Red Luffy, while it may be the best deck, it's the hardest deck to pilot to the highest degree and highest ceiling because it's a deck that's very punishing if you make minute and mistakes along the way. So you have to play perfectly with that deck. So for the Americans, what I would think their top 4 decks would mainly be Red Luffy, Red Green Law, Green Kid, and Purple Kaido. These 4 decks are the decks that I'm quite sure will be in the top cut.
Yeah, and ever since OP01 format up to OP02, they are still dominating. So yeah, it's quite an impressive deck to play if you're intending to get into like the top 4 or even win the event.
The best would be Law, followed by Kid, then Zoro, Kinemon, and Whitebeard. Okay, so why I think Law is the best deck is basically a deck that can dominate the board and is very good in the right hands. And moreover, it's a very consistent deck. Whereas if you're playing something like Zoro, you really rely on your white beard to finish off the games. And if you do not see a white beard, you might lose the game. You might fail to close out the game.
Mhm.
As for Kinemon and Kid, they are both green decks, which suffer the same fate into Law, which basically is that once green loses the board, they can't really play the game from behind. So against Law, Law just dominates the board against green. And why I rank Whitebeard as the last is that Whitebeard is a deck that is extremely powerful, but it relies on the Whitebeard having their pieces and the opponent not having any answers to the Whitebeard spot.
So, as we will still be in the same format for the Southeast Asia Championship, what do you think will be the best decks to play, and what are your predictions of the metagame and the leaders? Because right now, as of now, I believe we have about 4 championships that just ended within the span of 2 weeks. So in Philippines, we have Kaido as the champion. And then in Japan, we have Miyagi Championship, which the winner is Law and Whitebeard. And then today we have Tokyo Championship. The winner was Law and Zoro, as well as Singapore's own championship, Kid and Kaido. So yeah, what do you think will be the meta game and the leaders in the Southeast Asia Championship?
So for the Southeast Asia Championships, I'm expecting about 60 to 70% to be green, mainly Kinemon and Kid.
Yeah.
However, I think that Kid will be the best deck in the whole entire meta game currently for this championship itself, because there are many greens and Kid is very good into green. Another thing is that the second color would be red, which mainly will be red because it's still effective, efficient, and the third deck would be Law, if there are any one green Law to counter the green and the red.
So what do you think about like leaders such as Ivankov and even Zed, which did well in today's Tokyo Championship event?
So while Ivankov and Zed did well in the Tokyo Championships recently, there are many various factors for the Ivankov player to have a bad outcome. Because usually, if you don't play your Ivankov on Earth, which is on turn 4 at 7 dawn, you would be quite behind. Another thing is that you can't control what you draw in Ivankov, in the sense that if you don't have anything to check at your top cards, you will be drawing blindly. And when you are at 2 cards, it will be extremely easy for the opponent to read how much gut potential you have in your hand. And as for Z, it's a 4 life leader.
Yeah.
So the thing about Z is that if you're starting at 4 life, usually you are at about a -2 cards disadvantage starting the game. Another thing is that while Z may be good into green, it's extremely bad into red, because the red can go extremely wide and Z can only clear 1 to 2 threats at a time.
So what happened today was Zed, I believe he lost to a Zoro in the quarterfinals. Yeah, so tough luck for Zed though. Okay, so yeah, for our last question, so it's a very cliche question. How confident are you in getting the top 3 placings at the Southeast Asia Championship?
Honestly, currently I'm not that confident, because till this day I still have not decided what to play yet. I'm on the fence between Whitebeard and Purple Kaido.
And also because the announcement was really sudden, you have less than like 48 hours to prepare for the event.
Yep. So we just got the message, the email of few days, like 1 day ago. So we got less than 48 hours to prepare for the event.
Yeah.
So we are rushing to grind out games currently.
Yeah, and yeah, thanks for taking your time to have this interview session with me. I'll try to put this up as soon as possible, hopefully by tonight or tomorrow. So that's all. That's all the questions that I have for you today. Before we end the event, do you want to make any shoutouts?
Okay, so I want to shout out to my team, Team Seafood King. We are on Facebook, Twitter. Yep. Hopefully on YouTube soon.
Okay.
So we are sharing One Piece content.
Yeah, everyone is waiting for that. So yeah, don't forget to follow him on the socials. I'll link all the socials in the description below. And yeah, that's all for today's interview session, and thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you for having me, Noah.
No problem. All the best for your championship event, as well as for your teammates as well.
Thank you so much, Noah. Hope we can represent Singapore at the World Championship.
Alright, all the best.